I recently gave a little bit of a tutorial to my Arrow members, that's the Arrow Equestrian Club, about leg yield, shoulder in, half pass and what's the difference. This is causing a lot of confusion among some people, and certainly the aides. I've heard all sorts of extraordinary aides, to be honest. So I'm hoping that this might clear a few things. So here we have a horse. He's banana right, he's bent to the right, but we don't know what he's doing because we don't know what school figure he's on. We don't know which direction he's going in, so we can't tell. So if he was going in this direction, it's going to be a leg yield. He's bent to the right, he's going to the left. If he was going in this direction, he's bent to the right, he's going to the right, it's a half pass. And if he's going this direction, his quarters are on the school figure, the line, his shoulders are in off the line. I might do that a little bit more, get a little more angle, but you get the idea. His quarters are staying on the track and his shoulders are coming in off the track. So if we don't know where we're going, it's very hard to have a very good exercise. And the exercise of leg yield, shoulder in, half pass, they're very, very useful exercises, but they're no good if you're not on a school figure. If you're not really on a school figure, then it's just a big escape. So for example, if let's say I'm starting my leg yield, let's get rid of this line. This is very typical actually of a leg yield. And by the way, you can have your horse straighter or more bent. Leg yield's quite flexible like that. If you want your horse to be a little bit more bendy because it's stiff, have more bend. If it's a little bit wobbly and losing his balance, have him a little bit straighter. Okay, I'm not going to argue either way on that. Competition leg yield is quite straight. But for the sake of argument, we're having banana right, he's bent to the right, and we're leg yielding. So let's say we're on the centre line here, and we say, okay, so this is my direction of my leg yield. Okay, we're going here. Maybe that's B or something, who knows. So we think we've set this up nicely. However, my horse ends up here. So in this case, the chances are he's lost his shoulder and he's crabbing out sideways, far too much to the shoulder, and he's ended up here, probably with the shoulder getting to the track too early. He's just escaped through the shoulder. So this is not useful, you're just teaching your horse to escape. Equally, starting back here again, you might find, this is usually on his bendy side by the way, he's bent too much to the right, got too much bend in the neck, maybe the rider's crooked as well and all sorts of other things. So this is a horse that likes to fly out through the left shoulder and he's going to get to the track too early. Now, next horse, we've swapped horses. This is a horse that's too stiff and we start to leg yield, and instead of him ending up at B, which we were aiming for, he goes to about here and actually you never even get to the track. That's because this horse doesn't like to go sideways. So he sort of is stuck here and not going sideways as much as we'd like. So this is a horse that's, it could be he doesn't want to cross his hind legs over, he doesn't want to move the quarters, it could be he's stiff in the shoulders, but basically he's not responding to your inside leg, and so you never get to the point that you want to go to. So here, the common thing is, let's go this way now, here's the, let's say this is E. The common thing is your horse that bends to the right easily, you end up here. Here, I've got my same horse. I'm going to put him there because he's falling through the shoulder. This is the same horse, and he's quite stiff on the left bend. So instead of him going here, he goes here. Might not even get there. Might just go here and then head off down here somewhere. So this is the stiff horse that doesn't want to go sideways at all. So if we religiously practice this, and on the right rein we always get to the track too early, and on the left rein we barely get to the track at all you're doing is confirming your horse's crookedness. It's not useful. You need to be accurate on your school figures. Later on, when you get to half pass, it's even more important. So, what's the difference then with leg yield and shoulder in? Very important difference. You can talk about straightness, you can talk about whether it's 3-track or 4-track. The main difference is very apparent if you do this on a centre line. So here's my centre line, or on a 3/4 line, be the same thing. So I'm in a left bend, maybe I'm coming down the centre line. Now if I'm doing leg yield on the centre line, this is my school figure, so I move the quarters off that line. So the first thing you do in a leg yield is you move the quarters off whatever school figure you're going on. And this can be 30 or 40 degrees here, something like that. And then I carry on going sideways down my centre line. So this is leg yield on the centre line. My school figure is the centre line. I've moved the quarters off the centre line and then I carry on going sideways. So let's put him here. And this is my leg yielding horse. Leg yield. Now my next horse, going to go the other way, we're coming down on the right rein. This horse is going to do shoulder in. So get rid of that. He comes in onto the centre line and he takes his shoulders off the centre line. Okay, his quarters are going straight down the centre line, but his shoulders have come to the inside. He's bent to the right, his shoulders are going to the right. Now, if both these horses were bent the same way, it'd be quite hard to tell the difference. If I swap this horse around, let's put him this way for a minute. So this is shoulder in, the forehand's coming off that line, and this is leg yield, and the quarters are going off that line. So you can see, depending on where the horse is, they could look quite similar really. And there was a List 1 judge who was giving a talk on judging shoulder in. So you've got to look at the first couple of strides, because he said once they're in shoulder in, you can't really tell whether it's a leg yield or a shoulder in. And that's coming from a top judge. So what hope have the rest of us got? But the feeling is obviously extremely different. And the dynamics of it, the gymnasticism of it is very different. So here, round the corner, shoulders come off the track. Here, round the corner, quarters come off the track. This is leg yield, this is shoulder in. So I hope that clears up some of the issues between leg yield and shoulder in. It's quite an important thing to remember because of the way we ride it. And if your thought of shoulder in is push the quarters sideways, you're doing a leg yield. If you're doing a shoulder in, you bring the shoulders in off the track. If you're doing a leg yield, you push the quarters away. And incidentally, in terms of your aiding, if you're bending right, you are always in right position, right leg on the girth or at the girth, left leg a little further back. You do not change your legs and think, I've got to push the horse sideways for shoulder in or leg yield. It's very obvious from work in hand. You can tap the horse at the girth area and he'll move his whole body, he'll move his quarters. You don't have to reach for the quarters to make him move it. Maybe a very young horse you're just teaching, you can go to the quarters a bit more, just the very, very initial stages. But once you've got past that, you just simply have your leg on the girth and that will send the horse sideways together with your other aids, obviously. Okay, I hope that helps a little bit.